Also, the Oracle is a very good pick against Vayne, right? Because when you think about Troll Warlord and what his conditions are for him to be effective in fights, he just needs to be able to hit people. So what counters him? Things like Nightmare, things like Fiend's Grip, chains. But Oracle deals with all of these things very easily. You can debuff the chains, you can debuff the Nightmare, Fiend's Grip can get false promised. So it should be simple for him. There's going to be a Yules that Willow builds, which needs to be dispelled by
30 seconds
Oracle ult, but it should be fine. We'll see how it goes. I think Oracle is interesting.
Yeah, also a hero that we don't see too often nowadays, but we'll see if Chicken Fighters can make these heroes work. A bit of action to start things off with the Firestorm coming down on LeBron as well as the Cookie setup. Will be first blood going into the hands of Aqua.
More action at the Vantyr by these two teams. You love to see it. No, it's nice extra gold for Aqua. Typically, the hero who benefits most from first blood gold at Vantyr is just the mid hero. Just getting that bottle earlier than the enemy makes a huge difference in terms of like what CS you can commit for, how much of a beating can you take, right? But no, it's always good to have that extra gold on your safe lane as well.
Yeah. We'll see anyway with the overall Brownie. We'll be able to rush the bottle if he wants to, actually. Yeah, he is, of course. Yeah, Zanti just going for the stick and the Bassi himself. Actually, it's changing for the ball. Okay, we'll see. But Brownie at the moment. In this matchup, I mean, Ember versus Storm. How do you sort of tend to find that you seem to see this go in the lane?
This is a 50-50 matchup, in my opinion. This is player-based, right? But I like Storm versus Ember just because if you do go for that max remnant build, you can just keep nuking the wave over and over, and Ember can't really walk into it. And we've seen a lot of Storm Spirits play similarly to that. So.
And these side lanes to start things off. Jibek backed up by Era up top against Shad and LeBron. The thing is, you know, LeBron as the Bane in this lane, do you think he's going to be able to do enough to hold back these two, get the lane safe for Shad?
Yeah, I think Shad should have an easy time on this lane, honestly. Like, it's a bit annoying the first few levels, but he's not in any threat of dying unless he makes a really huge mistake. So, should be an easy time for Muffling. And the same can be said for Troll. He's playing versus a Night Stalker. That's not going to be a challenge at all. I expect both safe laners to come out with a decent game.
Troll, without doubt, one of the stronger carries in that laning stage.
I love this part.
Top. As I said, first level is so not going to be too easy. Jibbe with that hard hit. Easily able to secure CS before Shad's able to get a touch on it.
So, since we've talked about scaling so much, OD, during these games, I am thinking to myself, which draft do I prefer in terms of late game scaling? And I actually do like the scaling that Troll and Storm Spirit have versus these particular heroes.
Oh really? Against like the Morph Willa?
I do like the scaling that they have just because they're gonna be it's gonna be so easy for them to just kill targets very quickly, and then as Troll levels up, he has a dispel of his own level 25. Right, so that's going to be interesting to see, but ITV have such good poke from a distance going from them with Willow and with Slight Chains and with Brain Saps and things like that.
Yeah, of course one of the big differences this game will be that Into the Breach. So with the bans from Chicken Fighters, you know, they don't have that IO, they don't have that supporting, you know, sort of sustain that's going to be anywhere close to what Chicken Fighters have this time around with an Oracle. You know, later on there. And the carriers of Chicken Fighters are going to be fully protected, whereas Into the Breach is going to be relying much more on the offensive potential rather than the straight-up ability to just protect their carry and allow them to go to town.
And it's going to be one of those games where you have a target on your back as an Oracle. Everyone's going to be out
they've got to
you.
find this Oracle in the mid.
Everyone. It's rough for him.
One lane Tanner. That'll be fine, salving up. As we can see, trade CS down there, 15 for 4, 14 for 3, very close. And the top lane, Shad's starting to close that gap on Jibbe, as expected.
And of course, Storm is leading the CS, just very typical. Easy for him to run in the wave, walk back, go to small account. Just
having Branya on the Storm and a Xantic on the Ember, it's gonna be fun. So both of these players very good with the moves on the Spirits. Bottom lane, strength of the Troll coming into play. See the TP come out.
And I like his 1-1 build that he went for on Troll at level 3, just one in each, and that enabled him to kill the Night Stalker. That early point in fervor is so useful in lane. It's a bit sad when some people choose to get the level 2 axes, but Night Stalker is going to be in a weird position where it's not easy for him to walk up to the Troll until it's nighttime.
He's going to have to be cautious in this lane, especially with sort of Tan. I mean, Tan's still sitting around this lane, very low HP on the Willow. He's doing what he can. Last bit of mana used to set him on a Pex, and should be enough actually. He'll put the Fairy Fire, but Symmetrical. He's got another Void, and that'll do it. They get the kill. Same time though, top lane, the bigger death to occur, as that'll be Shad pushed out of the lane.
I missed how that happened actually, so I'm curious to see how that happened, because like we were talking about earlier, Underlord, he doesn't even have a level.
Yeah, like you feel
hit.
like you wouldn't expect a Morphling to die in that setup.
Could have just been a lot of harass going down. Maybe he didn't have his regen up and they just went for a cookie from a creep wave. Fortunate that we missed it.
Shad, it's got to be cautious. Can't allow for these sort of deaths as a Morph early on, especially when he knows that the Troll on the other half of the map is having a much better time than he is.
And Era's actually playing on his 2 nukes instead of Little Shredder, which is...
Oh, and again?
It's
I'm guessing that's what happened before, Effie.
Yeah, it's the cookies. They're getting him with these cookies before he can work.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating deaths there, because you know, to a point, you've only got yourself to blame there, letting yourself be caught out by a cookie, sitting too low.
I would say so, and you just need to strength morph a little bit more.
I mean, it's 2 times in the lane. That hurts massively.
But that's the strength of playing on nukes for Snapfire. You do a lot of burst damage early on, and if the enemy carry is not expecting it, you can find simple kills, like the ones we just saw. Also, like the panel was saying, Morphling is a hero with very high armor, so something like Little Shredder doesn't even do that much to him. So, very clever skill build by Era. We'll probably see him take that Basilius and build it into a Veil, even.
And of course, with that death as well, he had to walk back to lane, Shad. So everything adds up. We'll see bottom lane. Move from Azantic, wanting to do something about Aqua. Nice route from Pexio, holds a couple of them back. Have another set of Whirling Axes up in a second. Aqua, he's going to be fine. He gets away from this. Azantic unsuccessful there with the rotation. It's already, 7 minutes in. All 3 cores of Chicken Fires in the top spot. These lanes, this beginning, it's been going very nicely for them. 3K lead already at 7 minutes. That's not a small number. That's bottom lane. And they go over towards Symmetrical. He's able to head back this time with the night time. He's got the speed. We'll get it out of there, but he's got to go back to base. So Aqua continuing to create completely a free area for him down bottom. And mid lane CS, as we can see, Branya's going to be well on the way to a good timing on the Orchid this game, unless they can get some sort of catch on him.
Era actually spotted out the stacks that they've been making in triangle, so that could, and he's pinged it out, right? So that could be something that they play for right now if they want to. Also, though, it's just a very value TP coming out of him. He TP's bottom, he cookies away the Troll, so Troll doesn't die to Azantic's rotation, which makes it a wasted rotation on Ember. But then Era stays long enough to bully the Night Stalker out of the lane and then manages to scout out the stacks. So just like 3 positive things coming out of a simple Snapfire TP.
Oh, good secure here from Into the Breach, making sure that Azantic does get the power rune. He needs it. They need that extra bit of potential to try and make some sort of moves with the Ember Spirit early. As it's not been easy so far, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Azantic and Symmetrical to make space and time for Shad's Morphling.
Oh, Shad definitely needs time on this Morphling. I think those 2 deaths were actually so detrimental because Troll had a good lane.
He did.
While he had a bad one. Though on paper, it should have been pretty decent for the Morphling. And he's going to need an extra few minutes to just catch up in the jungle, where typically you wouldn't expect that. And in those extra few minutes, they could potentially lose out on a lot of the timings we were talking about for Into the Breach.
Shad. Still feeling that he can show himself in the lane. And with the lifesteal, more likely to be able to keep himself topped up and knows that Era is elsewhere right now. It is just Shibei. I'm sure, you know, Shibei's happiness as well. He's getting full free farm and XP, nearly level 7.
He's got the Vanguard up too, so he feels pretty cozy. He's sitting on this top lane, just farming away at his heart's content. The second Morph leads to the jungle, we can expect Era to move on over and just start applying tower pressure.
Oh, they should be able to get an early tier 1 here. I don't think that Into the Breach will try and hold any sort of defense up top in the state that they're in right now. Bottom lane, they really want Aqua. We're going to have another attempt onto him. He has got the 1 charge in the ultimate if he needs to stand his ground. They're going to be TPs coming in. There is. Root comes in. Aqua keeping his cool. Holding on to that ultimate to when it's needed, and now it is. Branya comes in with the lead in onto Azantic. Zipboard as well. He wants to try and finish it off, but he won't be able to. Azantic gets out of there. Aqua does go down. Branya will find Tana. Maybe get symmetrical as well with the tower hits coming in. LeBron and Azantic trying to turn back in on this. They take down Branya. Hey, ooh.
Pause.
Little bit of a pause here.
So, just a couple of things to mention. This is what the panel is talking about how this is a good Night Stalker game. Did you see how he just tunneled that Oracle and there was nothing to stop him? And yes, it is early game, so they haven't been able to itemize for him yet, but that's pretty much what we're going to be seeing out of this Night Stalker. And because they got that Oracle kill, Troll just got nightmared in the middle of his ulti by Bane and died afterwards.
Yeah, this was definitely the first strong move that Into the Breach has had this game. Getting those 2 cores and then Azantic surviving.
And the Troll is so dependent on Oracle being alive to have a good game. So if they can control and kill this Oracle early on, it just should be easy snowballing at this stage for Into the Breach.
Alright, trying to pick up a bit of solo XP in action in this lane. It's almost certainly going to cost him his life here. As they'll take the kill down and they can try pushing on with their siege creep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Chicken Fighters, they've got their eyes on this mid-tier 1 tower. They're going to see if they can push this down and push Yibek, as tanky as he is and hitting as hard as he does. Should be able to do this no problem, as even with that last fight down bottom going the way of Into the Breach, they're still playing from behind, so just making decisions to try and defend these tier 1s are pretty difficult for them right now.
They got that tower so quickly on Chicken Fighters that if they wanted to, they could choose to defend this bottom tower.
Yeah, looks like they will. Azantic poking aggressively. Shibei has got further backup coming in. They have the grip, but he is tanky. With these 2 crowns and a Vanguard, they will finish him off. Just if they lose any lives for it, they'll lose Tana. Maybe LeBron as well. Branya still with plenty of mana to play with. The Nightmare. Can't eat a cookie whilst he's sleeping. Still got much more mana left to chase and set up for another. Both picked up by Era. Tower defended after taking the tier 1 mid. Things continuing to flow nicely for Chicken Fighters.
Unfortunately for Zive on his underlid, there is a tier 2 TP going on. I think it was Snap who TP to the tier 2, so, or it was, yeah, it was definitely Snap, so it just took too long to back him up here, but he tanked enough spells to make it so that Chicken Fighters can just get kills on the Storm without being afraid, right? Tanks the Grip, tanks the Bedlam, tanks everything they have to kill heroes early on. And honestly, that's really Underlord's purpose this game. It doesn't matter if he dies so long as the goal of defending the tower is met. And they traded that tier 1 mid and didn't even have to lose their tower bottom.
That was a good trade. Branya well on the way to getting a great timing once more on the Orchid. In fact, yeah, how's it done? A 12-minute Orchid. It's not going to be too much fun to deal with for Into the Breach. Aqua, progress is still strong. The Battle Fury, 500 gold away.
Yeah, and you know what this Orchid is especially scary for? Shad on Morphling. If he can get scouted out by any kind of sneaky ward and Branya goes for these plays, Morphling is not strong enough, doesn't have the items to live through this Orchid first.
He still needs plenty of time.
But this is such a good Orchid game. Honestly, all of these are ideal targets. You want to Orchid the Bane and go on him. And then who do they have to stop you besides the Night Stalker who doesn't have a blink yet, right? You go on Ember and he has no means to defend himself. You go on Willow and she has no means to defend herself. So this Orchid timing could prove to be very potent for Chicken Fighters if they do try to make a couple of plays with it. But it does seem like they're pretty content farming away right now. They're not trying to force anything. Whereas Into the Breach are looking for a play of their own.
Jibei. Oh, nice read there from Jibei. Before the nighttime comes in, he starts the ults off and it will get him out to safety. Very nice escape.
You know, the Pit of Malice stopped Willow from getting close enough to get the Bedlam damage off on him. I think if she did get the Bedlam damage off on him, he might have died there. But she just got stuck in the pit. Poor soul.
Into the breach, they're still trying to go for something. I don't know if they're going to get away with it though, as Branya comes in with a big zip. The backup's there with a false promise. He takes out the 2 supports. Have they got any further catch? They don't, so the cause of Into the Breach will live. Oh, for now, I said, well, Jibei's still able to go straight in, get the pit off. The kisses are coming out as well. Aqua moves in onto Shad. Shad's in trouble. The root's there. He's gone. And Xantic also focused. The silencer there from Branya. He's also out of mana at Xantic. The axe is slow. Doesn't quite get him. Branya's got just enough, though, to zip in. And the blast there from Era takes him out. Wow, that one hurts there for into the breach. They try and turn up and take some sort of a fight there. They lose the 2 supports. I felt like it only had to be the 2 supports, but yeah, Jibei just charges in and sort of causes their attention and focus to fall towards him. It causes Cause to die.
Wow, that is a 7k net worth lead at minute 15. This is very scary because we talked about Into the Breach having to play tempo and having to snowball with their lineup, right? But they're actually just losing to this Orchid timing and this Atos timing on Underlord. That Atos was able to lock down so many people in the pit. And of course, special shout out to Oracle for stopping Storm Spirit from getting gripped.
Yeah.
Their lineup right now is coming into play so nicely where they're not even concerned about farming. They can just keep playing with this Underlord and the Storm combination.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. They have this sort of lead whilst Aqua has gone for a Battle Fury build. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, whether they're hitting heroes or hitting creeps now, they're going to be getting further and further ahead. Mid lane, they do get a clean setup onto Piranha. It's enough. They're in the silence, locking down the Storm nicely as Piranha steps a little greedily out into the river to farm.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for Piranha. You definitely don't want to die when you're in the process of snowballing. But similar to last game, they've been able to play while they have the added security of Aqua just farming away on one of his late game heroes.
Top lane, is it enough damage? Not quite. Xantic will live this time.
Is under attack.
He has nearly got that BKB, which is ever so desperately needed against the lockdown and control that Chicken Fighters have built up.
And meanwhile, I haven't checked in on Morphling. He's working towards his Manta style, probably just a dispel for that Storm Orchid because it's very pesky for him at this stage of the game. He does seem a little bit behind on his timings, but that's due to the poor laning phase that he had.
See mid. Tumbler's toy for the setup. Pexu trying to offer the safety from the sidelines. Symmetrical attempting to stay on top of Branya. Jibei's going to rift himself over. They've got the rod set up into the pit. Damage to follow up as well as Aqua moves in onto the target, takes out Symmetrical. A little bit of a risky poke there from Into the Breach, trying to start some sort of action underneath the tier 1 of Chicken Fighters in the mid. Cost them their offlaner's life. And now Chicken Fighters, knowing that the Night Stalker's out for 20, they're going to seize this opportunity to head straight into the pit. See if Into the Breach are able to do anything about this, because this is going to go down pretty quickly.
Yep, and this is one of the strengths of Troll Warlord. Sure, like, he has issues with getting kited, but he does provide Roshan very early on and very quickly for his team. So they've just got their Aegis ready. Morph is not strong enough to fight, and so long as there's no vision of Oracle in these fights, he's always going to be able to save the hero that they go on. So now it's looking pretty terrifying for Into the Breach, I would say.
It's starting to get in the same territory as Game 2 did. A little bit earlier this time round.
Meanwhile, they're still maintaining their net worth lead.
See what Shad's able to do from the carry here this game, as he's got a lot of weight to lift. It's not going to be simple. Aqua with the Battle Fury is just going to be able to keep it at a level of farm that Shad's not going to have an easy time contesting with. SMY nearly done on top of the Battle Fury for this troll.
I really like this Atos build on Underlord. just because it's just so fun to perma-root a hero like Night Stalker or Ember. Ember does have his BKB now, so you can't do that anymore, but it's just such an effective item versus the heroes he's playing against. And it makes it so that Underlord is more than just a Firestorm, right? It makes it so that he actually does provide proper disable for his team.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
I remember when Underlord's talent changed, when they gave him that extra pit radius. It was like 125 before they nerfed it, and it was absurd. I think this was like 3 or 4 years ago.
It feels like years since we had the last big patch. I'm still waiting. I'm hoping for a big one. There we go.
I'm honestly pretty happy with this patch.
Bran, yep. Not wanting a zip in on that. The old's back here. And into the breach there. They're going to try and smoke and set something up by the looks of it. It's not going to be easy though. Chicken Fighters, they're together as 5. Jibei poking mid with the Firestorm. I mean, they're heading into the jungle. They're not going to find anything at all though, of course, into the breaches. Chicken Fighters, they are top and they'll start to show themselves now. So into the breach, they won't find any sort of kill. They could try for some of the trade here onto the tier 2.
They're very happy with taking this tier 2 into an outpost, into just overall map control. Morphling is going to finish his Vanta timing. There's not that much to do about it unless they actively seek him out. But so long as Troll is just keeping up, look at that top of the net worth, almost 12k net worth at minute 20. They're really not concerned. And they feel strong enough to go high ground right now.
Oh, here we go. 20 minutes in. Heading onto this tier 3.
They actually don't have the greatest high ground defense at this stage of the game. All they have is like brambles and slides.
Yeah, it's very hard to deep push this. Especially with Aqua having the backup of Peksu behind him. They're going to lead in, they get the pit out. 2 of them zip forward from Branya straight onto the Bane. LeBron goes down. I'll turn with the rod into the cookie setup on us. It's symmetrical. Look at the Night Stalker as well. 2 kills for Chicken Fighters as they'll continue to push on. They couldn't defend with 5 into the breach. Unlikely they're going to be able to do so with just the 3 of them.
This is a very well-read high ground timing by Chicken Fighters. Even if Morph were to TP and join this fight, there's really not that much he can do.
Aggressive zipping onto Xanthic. Turn around with the fear, but nothing more to follow, and the space is there for Aqua to take the objective. Tier 3 and the racks gone on the top lane. Chicken Fighters pushing their lead now into the double digits.
Yeah, this is very scary. If Chicken Fighters decide to just do that again and run down a lane without Shad being ready to fight, a similar thing could be repeated. This is the problem with Night Stalker. We talk about him being a snowball hero, a hero that makes you fight early on, but he does have downtime, right? He's got the daytime that he has to fight around, and he doesn't have that link yet. He doesn't have his BKB. We talked about how important it's going to be for him to get on top of that Oracle, but how does he do that right now? There's no way for him to walk through this pit. There's no way for him to walk through this storm, even.
There we go. Another set of racks in the sights here for Chicken Fighters. And Xanthic steps up. BKB still on cooldown for 10 seconds. They will be able to take out Jibei this time. So a big bit of the frontal force of Chicken Fighters put to the side. We'll stop them for now.
I think they're content with going back here. They don't need to hard commit with this Underlord dead. He does do a lot for them in terms of soaking up damage. And the Aegis is about to expire, almost 15 seconds left. They got a top racks out of it. They've gotten the mid tier 3 to nearly 1/5 of its HP. Overall, I would say that that's an Aegis well spent.
Yeah, they love the BKB for the next attempt on Aqua. 4 stealth as well, pretty much done.
And with this BKB on Aqua, it pretty much enables Oracle to just focus his defensive capabilities on Storm, which is going to make him braver and allow him to go in even more so. So I really like this BKB pickup on Troll. Typically, you don't expect your Trolls to go BKB if they have an Oracle, but he understands that the synergy that it can provide for something like a Storm Spirit. Because Storm Spirit is the only jump on Chicken Fighters.
There's a lot on Branya to start with the easy catches.
But he's got an Arcane Rune ready, and it looks like if they're all alive, they're just going to run down mid again.
Zantic. Yeah, he's going to be the focus. A little off the mark there, Branya. Tries to catch him with a timing of the Orchid, but still within the slight, so no Ember to be hit. Creep ends up tanking the silence. So bottom lane, actually the new focus now is Branya. Managed to catch LeBron, and LeBron did buy back in that last defense, so quite a long time with just the 4 of them here. Full minute, no Bane.
So Morphling is 700 gold away from his Axe, and with his Lilith form, that could be their means to defend high ground at the next push. Just that Shadow Realm Morphling whacking away at their heroes might be enough to drive them away. Maelstrom finished up by the Ember, just extra high ground defense if need be. Chicken Fighters could honestly just take control of these areas, get pick off to the Storm like so, and wait for Aegis comfortably though, in spite of these items coming out of into the Breach. And that's just the benefit of having Battle Fury on your carry when you're already winning the game, when you already have a huge net worth lead. You're never concerned when you have to slow it down.
The Breach struggled to pull themselves back from this sort of position last game. This time round, they have got cores that can scale, but at the moment, Shad still playing for the recovery. The Yags, we'll see how much of a difference that does make, teamed up with Tana.
Even if Into the Breach does scale, unless Morphling pops off in an extreme way, I really do like the scaling of Chicken Fighters draft as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Aqua, with his progress so far, is looking to be in quite a great shape, regardless of the moment and minute that this game pushes on to. This Troll is going to be very difficult to deal with, especially if Pexu goes undiscovered on the back lines.
The issue with Into the Breach right now is that their heroes are essentially negated at the moment just by Oracle, and by that I mean Bane can easily dispel. Can be easily dispelled by Oracle. Willow's Terrorize can also be dispelled by Oracle. Pretty much everything can be dispelled, right? The chains can be dispelled by a simple Q. If they don't find a way to jump this hero first, Storm can just run rampant in these fights. And Troll can just whack away at buildings, honestly.
At this point,
Feels bad.
Yeah, they can wait for the next rush.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna spawn in about a minute.
Like, as strong as they are, I know, like in the last game, they kind of got themselves to a point where they knew how hard it was for Into the Breach to do anything.
They're giving them respect, for sure. Yeah. They don't want to throw by just walking high ground. Even though I do feel like they could have walked up and just taken that tier 3 mid, finished it up. It's very low. They chose to play as safe as possible here.
Every win counts, and Chicken Fighters being cautious on that. They've had a good run so far here in the league. They want to make sure it keeps going. See if they can get themselves another series win secured. They're definitely on the verge of it, it feels. 15k up 27 minutes in. A massive lead.
Just waiting for Roshan to spawn. 40 more seconds though until we can get some action.
I think so. I mean, Into the Breach are starting to head out. They know defending on the high ground, it's not really doing them much better of a job than if they just take the fight straight to them outside on the map. So they're going to try and give that attempt here. Let's see who they find though. LeBron, he's going to walk straight into Aqua. That's the Bane gone. Up to the high ground. Zandy competing with the BKBs, looking for Pexu. They're on him with the silence. Pexu is still alive, cooking over to the side. Finally, they'll take him down. But it's pretty much taken the entire duration of their BKBs. It's Zantic low on the mana. Branya and Aqua, they'll be ready to chase down Symmetrical. Branya is low on mana himself though as well, so Symmetrical cannot be chased. Bash comes into play though on Zantic. They take out Zantic. Shad also going down in that action.
Yeah, I'm for Shad. They just get R'd by Troll and just perma just like, what do you do really? That was their Hail Mary there. That was their Morphling Ags reveal. They thought maybe they could get a key kill, maybe surprise them, but Chicken Fighters were ready to fight back. And they're just so ahead in net worth that even if ITV do get a good smoke, it's hard for them to even win the fight.
Jibek, he's going to look for the reset, take them back, pick up some of the items that they're the money for here. Crimson done. It's a triple buyback from Into the Breach.
It's time to fight for Rush again.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the last fight here from Into the Breach if it doesn't go too great. They're smoking up, they've used their buybacks.
There's no grip on Bane.
Let's see how they can start the fight off. Aqua charging in. LeBron's been caught up by the silence as Branya goes straight for him. He's out of the fight. Symmetrical's in with the BKB, trying to stay on top of Pexu, but a cookie here from Eric gets Pexu out to the side. Branya fully controls Shad. Shad goes down, and Xantic's BKB shortly coming to an end. Instant bash there from Aqua. GG is called. It's game 3 in the series. It will all go the way of Chicken Fighters. They may have had a pretty rough game 1. You know, it was a rough start to the series, but then they got killed 3 times before the starting bell in the first match. But then game 2 and game 3, for the majority of both of these games, it really did look like